my name is Quartz, and today we're back with the series. So today we're doing top 5 moves that the Grizzlies should make in the offseason. Number 1, draft John Morant. So the first move I think that the Grizzlies should be making is they definitely should draft John Morant instead of RJ Barrett, and here's why. So John Morant, we know, is a much better three-point shooter. He shot 36% this season in college, and as opposed to RJ Barrett's 31%. And we know that the NBA, now is much more focused on three-point shooting than it is on, isolation and the type of play style that RJ Barrett showed in college. I don't think it will necessarily translate as smoothly as Ja Morant will. Ja Morant is also, of course, his athleticism has often been, underlooked because of Zion Williamson, but he's a very athletic dude. He's like, there were a lot of highlight plays this season, and he definitely tore the NCAA tournament up. He had that amazing game against Marquette, and I think that it'll take him some time, to get used to the NBA. He's definitely the better prospect over RJ Barrett, and the Grizzlies should not make this mistake of drafting RJ Barrett just because of the Duke phenomenon and the fact that he averaged like 24 points a game. It doesn't say much. John Morant also averaged 24, I must add, and he averaged 10 assists and almost 2 steals per game. So he's a much better two-way player. So yeah, that's why I think they should draft John Morant. Number 2, trade Mike Conley. So this offseason, I think that the Grizzlies have a very important decision to make. They have to either choose to go down that path of pushing for a playoff spot with Mike Conley and Valanciunas this upcoming season and their young core, or they can choose to hit the reset button and start rebuilding their team. So personally, in my opinion, I think that they should go down the rebuilding path. The thing that's tempting to the Grizzlies is that the Celtics, they hold that first round pick next year, so it doesn't seem wise to start rebuilding now. They should, in their eyes, they want to push for the playoff spot because they don't want that Celtics pick to have any value, and because they don't have it, they might as well. But my thing is, you're not gonna get a playoff position this upcoming season as stacked as the West is. There are gonna be like 12, possibly up to 12 teams pushing for that playoff spot, and I don't think it's in the Grizzlies' best interest to be pushing for that. I think they should while Mike Conley has value, while they have the time, they should definitely start rebuilding. I think this, trading Mike Conley this offseason will jumpstart their rebuild by possibly a few years. The trade that I believe they should make is they should trade into the Suns. The Suns, are in dire need of a point guard, so they should trade Mike Conley to the Suns for Josh Jackson and the 6th pick in the NBA draft. I think the Suns would definitely be willing to give this up, for a solid veteran, experienced point guard. Mike Conley didn't have a bad season. He averaged 21 points per game, 6 assists per game. He shot pretty well from 3 too, 37% or something. So yeah, he's definitely been solid, close to all-star level. The only thing is, he's playing for the Grizzlies, so there's not much that he's not getting much attention over there, and some of those stats might be a little inflated because he plays for the Grizzlies and there are no second, third options for him. But he's still a solid point guard. He was an all-star, and so that's why the Suns should definitely be trying to trade for him. Josh Jackson, as we know, he's been in a bit of trouble recently, and he definitely should try to trade him now while he still has some value. As same goes with the Grizzlies, they definitely need to trade Mike Conley now that Mike Conley has value. This year he might get injured, his trade value might go down, and so they need to cash in now while they have the chance. So in this trade, the Grizzlies, they get a young wing that still has potential. Don't get me wrong, Josh Jackson has had a bad couple of seasons to start his career, but he's only 21 years old. He still has plenty of room to grow, and I believe that he has a future in the NBA. He just needs to fix some of his discipline issues and work consistently. But a trade for him would definitely benefit him. And that 6th pick in the draft, they could draft depending on and I'll get to this later in the video, but what they do in free agency, they either need to draft a center or a shooting guard. I think a shooting guard would be the best option there. But pair a shooting guard, a young Jarrett Culver possibly. Pair that backcourt of Ja Morant and Jarrett Culver. That'd be something else. They'd definitely be able to help each other develop this season, and they'd turn into a formidable backcourt for years to come in the NBA. They'd definitely be something to watch out for. And just imagine that young core of Ja Morant, Jarrett Culver, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Josh Jackson, players like that, working and growing together as a team. If they all hit their primes, at relatively the same amount of time, that definitely be contenders in a few years from now. So yeah, that's why I think they both should make this trade. And the Suns get that point guard that they've been needing for so long to pair with Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, TJ Warren, Miles Bridges. They definitely, or I don't know if it's Miles or Mikal Bridges, but that's a good pushing. That's a good team to push for the playoffs. So yeah. Number 3, trade Avery Bradley. So the third thing I believe the Grizzlies should do this offseason is they should trade Avery Bradley, and that may sound kind of weird. He's got this $15 million deal in place for next season. What team would want to take him on? And the thing that some people don't realize about his contract is that he only has about 2.5 million, I believe, 2.5 million guaranteed money for next season. And so this is a really valuable contract for some teams that are looking to create cap space. There are a lot of teams I can think of that are going to try to free up some cap space for free agents this season. And Avery Bradley would be a very valuable addition. Not addition, but would be a very valuable contract for them because they get to free up that 13 million cap space. And the Grizzlies, while they take up these bloated contracts, and in return the Grizzlies could receive some maybe draft picks from this year, mid first round, or maybe some future first round picks in next year and 2 years from now. And that's something that they should consider. The Grizzlies don't really need the cap space this offseason. And they have time, to take on those bloated contracts. And they could definitely get a good player value out of those trades. Say someone like Tim Hardaway Jr., someone of that caliber that has a bloated contract that has quality but has a bloated contract, and that the team is trying to get rid of for cap space. So yeah. Number 4, re-sign Jonas Valanciunas. So this might sound a bit strange, but I really think that it'd be wise for the Grizzlies to tie up Jonas Valanciunas to a 3, maybe 4-year deal this upcoming offseason. He has a player option in place, and I think that he'll probably it's in his best interest to accept that player option. But the Grizzlies could definitely negotiate something, convince him to decline that player option in order to negotiate a longer deal, 3 to 4 year deal maybe. And the thing is, Valanciunas does not have, that same caliber that he once used to have when he was on the Raptors. He doesn't have that same quality. He's still a very good center, don't get me wrong, but he's not commanding, a salary of, above 15 million. Maybe they could get him to a cheaper, 14 to 13 million per year contract in exchange for, this longer term deal. And so the thing, and you might be asking yourself, you just said that they need to rebuild, so why would they sign Valanciunas to this contract? But if Valanciunas can wait 1 or 2 more years, this core that I mentioned before of Josh Jackson, Ja Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr., and then potentially these first round picks that they'll acquire in trades during the draft will it'll be formidable. Like the potential for this team is unreal, and I think that as long as they're willing to rebuild for 1 or 2 years, this in 3 years, give it like 3 years max, this team is gonna be like fucking like amazing. Like they'll be contenders for sure. Like I'm telling you, I need like I might be showing a little bit of enthusiasm, but like the potential that they have it would be insane. Valanciunas as a center, Josh Jackson, Jaren Jackson Jr., John Morant, and Jarrett Culver. And excuse me for repeating myself, but like if they all hit their prime, at the same time, I dare say they'd win an NBA title. So yeah. Number 5, sign Rajon Rondo. So a lot of the arguments that I've been hearing throughout the past few weeks for keeping Mike Conley would be to keep him as that mentor for John Morant, the first half, if not the entirety of the season, and then go and like trade him or like do whatever it is they're going to do. They're going to work out with him. But the thing is, Mike Conley is too expensive of a veteran, mentor to keep on the team. Like he's making $32 million next season and $34 million the year after that. That's just too much money for a guy that is gonna eventually be replaced in a year or two by John Morant as the starting point guard. And so I think a cheaper option would be Rajon Rondo. And Rondo, he has experience. He has experience winning. He's won, with the Celtics, and he's been on a lot of different teams. So he has, he's got a lot of years of NBA experience, with different coaches, and that's something that I think that's something valuable that he'd bring to the table for the Grizzlies. He's not a player of quality that they'd have to splash out too much cap space to get. Maybe they could get him on like a $6 million a year deal for maybe 2 years, if not a year. And he could, definitely, he's a great mentor, for these young point guards and players that'll be at the Grizzlies. I've heard definitely he hasn't been, I've heard stories of him not being, a great teammate or maybe necessarily like a great person, but I believe that Rajon Rondo, if they can get him, into this mindset, into this if they can get him invested into this project that they're starting, he'll definitely, I think he'd come around. Like he looks like he's a good he doesn't seem as bad as people make him out to be, and I think that he'd be a valuable mentor for John Morant to have. And definitely he'd make sure that John Morant doesn't get overplayed this season, that he doesn't play like 40 minutes a night. He'd take some of his minutes, yeah, but I mean, what rookie wants to get exhausted like playing 40 minutes a night every night for 82 games? Like that's not ideal for your rookie to have. You want to ease him into the NBA. You don't want to put him in straight away and expect him to lead your team. Rajon Rondo would definitely carry some of the burden that John Morant has, and yeah, that's why I think they should sign him. So that's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, do whatever, and let me know what team I should do next in the comments. I'm definitely enjoying making these videos, and thank you. Bye.
Baby, you in love with me. Baby, I know that it really hurts. Ain't nobody finna hold you down like I'ma hold you down. So baby, is he really rockin' with me? Is he fucking with me? They gon' be so easy to split some things. Dice que sin mí no puedes vivir, pero te encanta, mamacita, que te haga daño todo es nuevo. Is he really fucking with me? Is he rocking with me? Yeah.